Hi, this is Sophia Cartman, host of Dream Big podcast show. Place to learn, laugh, and grow.
And this is Olga Karpman. Welcome to the Dream Big podcast.
Guys, did you know that we are what we repeatedly do? Excellence is not an act, but a habit. Today's episode is inspired by my story of me going on the monkey bars 1,000 times, but then something unexpected happened. You have to stay to the very end, big dreamers, to find out how this possibly changed my life.
This is episode 328 of the Dream Big podcast, and it's time
to dream big.
Welcome to the Dream Big podcast show. We're inspiring you to shoot for the moon, take aim and go. We bring to you amazing guests who truly love what they do. Every day they're living their dreams, and so can you. Dream big, take action to reach your goals. Are you pumped yet? It's showtime, let's rock and roll.
Before we begin, we'd like to give some shout-outs to people. This one goes to Sydney. She says, I'm 8. How old are you guys? Sydney, thank you so much for leaving us a review. Well, I'm 7 and my mom is 40.
If you would like to be like Sydney and also receive shout out, please go to dreambigpodcast.com/review or just use your podcast app and leave us your 5-star review if you love our podcast and leave us your name. We would love to get to know you better.
We'd also like to say hi to Magnolia, Matha Scientist, Sloth Girl 10, Frozen 3 Please, Emmy Tacos, Super Sala, Levale Shark, T Doma, and many, many more. Thank you so much, guys. And from the bottom of our heart, thank you. You guys are the reason we keep doing this. And you guys are an inspiration. Thank you, guys. So now, cuddle up. It's story time. Big dreamers, maybe you don't know this about me, but I love gymnastics. And I have this little playground with some monkey bars. I have a routine where I use the monkey bars like every day. And sometimes I do special tricks on the monkey bars to build up my arm muscles. And I kept on doing it 1,000 times. And I was on top of the monkey bars, like carefully going to each and every monkey bar. And then I would climb and turn. And there's this little part that connects this swing hangy thing. I don't know what it's called. But there's that little part. And I hang on to that part. I swing myself just a tiny bit. And I'm on that. And then I let go of the monkey bars. Let myself hang for like 3 seconds. And then I hold on to these little things that are hanging from that bar that I sit on. And then I hold it really tight. And I do like a little flip over. So when I do that again and again and again, it becomes so automatic in my brain, I barely even think about it. And it's easy. Big dreamers, have you ever noticed that when you do one thing again and again and again, it becomes like a second nature? It's like riding a bike. You don't even think about pushing another pedal and another pedal and another pedal, but it helps you go somewhere. You do it automatically, as my mom says, unconsciously. That's what happened with me and monkey bars. I barely even thought about it. I was doing it unconsciously. Until one day when I got really good at it, I invited my mom to come see. And when I was done with my trick, she asked me, "Can you do the other side?" I started thinking what that meant, and I was like, what, where, when, why? My brain was pretty confused. But I was like, I think I can. I got a little scared for a second. But then I said, I think so. So I got on top of the monkey bar and I was frozen. It felt so scary. I was about to drop. My mom helped me a lot, and it was hard. Even though it was the same routine, just not from the left side, it was from the right, I was shaking like a leaf. I could barely get out of that. It was so scary. I was just trembling in fear. Then Mom explained me how the brain works. And all of a sudden, it was a little bit making sense. You see, big dreamers, my brain learned one pathway to success. What was unfamiliar to me, even though I could get to the same destination on the floor, it felt very scary to me. Have you ever experienced that in your life, big dreamers?
Yes, Sophia and big dreamers. You know, our brain is creating pathways for habits. It can be good habit or bad habit. Or maybe sometimes you notice when you go take your dog for a walk, you probably taking the same path. Or maybe when your parents driving you to school, they taking the same path as well. If we do something repeatedly, our brain remembers this way only, and any other way looks very, very unfamiliar to us. This can be good or this can be bad. Sometimes in life, we would think that this is the only way to success, and it will be hard for us to believe that there is other way. Just like for you, Sophia, when you were thinking this is the only way for you to do this exercise on monkey bars. But when I showed you a different way and then I make you a little bit uncomfortable, very soon that uncomfortable zone became comfortable, and that became your second path, how to get to the same destination. The reason why we big dreamers telling you this story today, because a lot of time we live our life in our comfort zone of only the things that we used to do, just the way we do it, and we are very uncomfortable to get outside of our comfort zone and do things differently. But if we want to be successful in life, we want to stay always a little bit outside of our comfort zone. If something looks a little bit scary, try to go there. Try to ask support from your adults, from friends, and try to get to that zone, because maybe that zone will very soon be your new comfort zone, and maybe something new and exciting is waiting for you there. Our brain is a very, very smart machine. When it recognizes some sort of pattern and creates connection between your action and your reward or punishment that you get after this action, it files this information away neatly in this little tiny or maybe big area that it's hard to access. And that area in the brain, scientifically called very, very complicated. I'm not going to even pronounce that. It's not for us to remember this. We can simply call it unconscious mind. This is where we store our memories. This is where we store our decisions. And we sometimes don't even remember why we store this information there. But it can actually affect our life. Because at some point, maybe we got nervous and we started biting our nails, and that gave us a little sense of satisfaction. Do you know anyone who bites nails by any chance? Or maybe you know someone who picks their nails. Or maybe you saw someone shaking their leg when they're nervous. Or maybe you saw someone who is turning on TV and wants to run to the pantry and get some snacks because they have a habit to eat in front of TV. This is what we call the habit loop. And not necessarily all the habits can lead you to healthy lifestyle or to the lifestyle that supports your big dreams. That's why we want early on in life to recognize those habits, and we would like to rewire them to help our brain to find a new path, just like Sophia did. She found a new path, how to get to the same destination, but she still found a new way and helped her brain to look at things differently. So if you do find that habit loop, for example, you get the cue, oh, someone is turning on TV. Then you see the craving in your tummy, feeling hungry. Then you run to the pantry, you grab something as a response to that cue and that craving, and then you eat maybe a bag of chips that are not so good for you. You kind of got your reward out of it. If you found that loop and it repeats again and again every time someone's turned on TV or iPad, I applaud you, because finding the habit loop is the first step to success. Or let's take example of picking skin around your nails. That sometimes happens to people when they're nervous, and maybe you understand it's something that you should have not be doing on a daily basis, because that makes your skin very dry. It makes all sorts of infection go around your nails, and it's hard to do good manicure later and make your nails look pretty and your hands look pretty and nice and neat. So if you know that it's something that you would like to change, again, I applaud you, because number one, you already know the source of the problem. Now, once you identified the habit, whatever it is, eating in front of TV or picking nails or biting nails or anything else, now you would like to understand consciously, meaning just say it in your own words, or, make a peace with it and say, yes, I do this. And unfortunately, it doesn't serve me in life. My hands look very dry. It actually hurts, and it prevents me from maybe going in a salty ocean, because it really, really hurts in the salty water, and it's not pleasant at all. Once you talk to yourself about it, and you also apply logic thinking, okay, when do I do that? Try to find the trigger. When do you start doing that? Biting your lip, biting your nails, picking your nails, or anything else. If you find the trigger, it's easy to change that habit. To, instead of picking nails, maybe have a fidgety toy in your hands and fidget the toy. Or, they sell these beautiful rings that you can spin, and instead of picking your skin around nails, you can at first maybe touch that ring. Or sometimes they even put like little rubber bands on the hand. And once you notice that you do this habit and you want to break it, you slightly touch that rubber band, and it kind of reminds you to stop doing it. So once you apply the logic, once you understand what triggers it, then you choose the alternative. Alternative meaning something else. So, as I mentioned, you can have a ring on your finger and actually spin that instead of picking your nails or skin, or biting your lips, or, shaking your feet, or something else. Once you have an alternative thing to do, it's easier for you. You have the trigger. Now you have something else to do. And next thing would be to try to remove the trigger. Maybe if it's TV and eating in front of TV, maybe you don't sit on the same couch when you watch TV. Maybe you lock the pantry. Maybe you don't watch TV anymore during the week, only on the weekend. Maybe you move the place where you usually watch your iPad, or you play in a game, or whatever it is. So they remove what starts that habit. The next part would be to see your new version of yourself. For example, you with clean hands and not dry and picked nails. Maybe you watching TV without any food. Maybe you would like to drink water instead. And see yourself sitting on the couch, drinking water, drinking tea, and watching TV. Maybe it's you calm, collected when you're on stage. You know, some kids are nervous going on stage and that's why they bite lips. Or you calm and collected during your math test. That's when a lot of kids also picking nails and biting nails. Once you see your new version of yourself, you kind of visualizing the change you have. Also, what's important, not to talk negatively to yourself and not to talk in a way that's really, really putting yourself down. Oh, you bad person for biting the nails and doing this and that. Just remember, we're all human beings and we all gone through this. But once you have the toolbox and you know when to use this tool, it would be easy for you to start doing it. Opposite, praise yourself, reward yourself, talk to your parents about it, and make a plan together. Let's say if you go 10 days without biting your nails, you get an experience of some sort as a family, maybe playing a family game, maybe going to the park, going on a hike, going on a bike ride, or something like that. Whatever works for your family. But don't be afraid to admit you have this bad habit and ask someone else around to be accountable for you to make this change. Just remember, talking positively, rewarding yourself for doing consecutive change is always, always good. And people around you will support you and will definitely praise you as well. And of course, will reward you at the end of your journey. And the main reward will be, of course, you, new version of yourself, new habit. I'll tell you the secret. A lot of entrepreneurs do that because, as I mentioned, we adults have a lot of habits that we don't like about ourselves and we would like to change. For example, not exercising enough or sleeping in too much in the morning or maybe, again, eating in front of TV or maybe biting the nails. Because if we don't stop that as children in our childhood, this can carry on later to life. And it's hard to break that habit because, as I mentioned before, our brain is so smart, it stores it somewhere very, very far, deep. And it's hard to get it out later and break that habit. But I have to tell you, it is all possible. Even old habits can be broken and replaced with new ones. Just remember one thing, something that's taken out of the brain, something has to come in instead. So we need to replace the bad habit with the good habit, different habit, new version of you. So once again, I repeat those steps. You need to find out what kind of habit you need to change. Then you find out why it's not serving you anymore. Then you logically think through that habit and see what happens, what triggers that habit. Fourth, you find a new habit instead. 5, you completely try to remove all the triggers. What starts this habit in the first place? What triggers it? Why do you start doing this? 6, you visualize new version of yourself. And 7, you talk positively to yourself and reward yourself for this change.
Wow, Mom, that's such an insightful information. Now I can easily form a new habit. I think I'm going to personally apply it. I brush my teeth twice a day, but I forget to floss. So if I form a habit of flossing every time I put my brush down, I know it's going to make my teeth very healthy for many years to come. Also, exercising every day will make me feel healthy and fit. My challenge for you today, Big Dreamers, is find a habit you like to change. Don't be afraid to talk about it. Find a new path to change it with your parents. And a little side effect. Talk about the reward. If you would like to make your new habit stick, set your vision, apply your effort, believe in yourself, and go for it. Let us know what habit you're changing. You can send us a message on Instagram or email.
As always, you can find us at Dream Big Podcast on Instagram and Olga at dreambigpodcast.com on our email.
Hey guys, Silly Sophia's back. I have one joke for you today. Why do snails have a habit of walking too slow?
Why, Sophia?
Because they're carrying their house on their back.
Big Dreamers, if you enjoyed this episode, then please tell your friends and family about the Dream Big Podcast. And you can point them to dreambigpodcast.com/328 for this episode show notes. If everyone listening would tell just one person about the podcast, that would get our show in front of so many new Big Dreamers, which would be our mission. And we would be so grateful for it.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please give us a review on iTunes. I'm looking forward to giving you a shout out on our next podcast.
Just head on over to dreambigpodcast.com/iTunes, or you can find our podcast in iTunes app, and please leave us a review. We would really appreciate it.
That's all the announcements for today, Big Dreamers. As always, thank you so much for tuning into the Dream Big Podcast. This is Sophia Cartman
And Olga Karpman.
reminding you that you have unlimited potential. Your dreams are not optional. You need to make them essential. So take massive action and turn those big dreams into reality. Live with passion the way life was meant to be. See you in the next episode. Bye.